All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Valerie Cox, an area manager and independent consultant out of Louisville, Kentucky. And it is my absolute pleasure this evening to be able to share with you Arbonne, just in general, but then also the 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond set. And so obviously this is a family business, and she's really excited to be able to join us this evening because she is a huge fan of the products, and so I'm going to make sure that she's not too big of a distraction for you or for myself, because this is a really important call. Whether you hopped on tonight to just learn a little bit about Arbonne, or to learn a little bit about our ingredient policy, our nutrition, how our nutrition products are really premium compared to everything else that's on the market, or if it's something that you are ready to dive in and you're ready to make that decision. And just say, hey, I have decided that I know that I can do more and I'm ready to do more. So what is my next step? So this call is for you, no matter where you are on the spectrum. And I hope that you have the opportunity to learn just a little bit about what we have to offer. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And if you have any questions, I just want to kind of make a note that it is definitely an opportunity for you to have an additional conversation with the people that you have, with the consultant that you have that has invited you on this call or invited you to listen to this recording, because it's a wonderful opportunity for you to just ask questions that are relevant to you and relevant to what is going on in your life and the lifestyle that you're currently leading, whether you're a single woman or a single man or a single mom of one or two or four, or you're married and you have 4 kids and you're a corporate employee. Whatever your occupation is, whatever your lifestyle is, we have something to offer for you. And that is because not only the ingredient policy and what we stand for in Arbonne, but also the whole platform of education that we offer. And that's exactly what it is. It is a platform of education. And so I want to take the opportunity to just kind of point out first and foremost that no matter where you are in your journey toward living a healthy lifestyle, that it's for you. It is 100% for you, because everyone starts at a different point. Everyone says yes for a different reason. And so my job tonight or today, whenever you're listening to this call, is to just give you a little bit of extra information to help you make a decision on how much is right for you at this point in time. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Arbonne. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, because I think it's pretty powerful. And so it's an opportunity for you to just kind of listen in, to lean in and say, you know what, if this is not necessarily me right now, this might be someone even that I know. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and why I firmly believe in these products, first of all. I don't know if you know anybody who was 16 and diagnosed with heart disease. That would be me. Or by the time they were 18, they were diagnosed with chronic migraines. By the time they were 21, they were diagnosed with severe allergies, severe asthma. And then last but certainly not least, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when I was 23 years old. And at that point in time, if you have personally, or anyone that you know has actually said, hey, if you lose weight, you're going to feel so much better. I heard that over and over again. So from the time I was 16 to the time I was 21, I was actually losing 50 pounds. And yet I continued to get sicker. I continued to feel worse. I continued to honestly lose hope in a lot of what was going on in my life. And that just did not seem right to me. So when I was 23 and I had been on all of these medications and I was basically high or non-functional for about 9 months, I met a more alternative physician who said there's actually an alternative to the way that you're living. And I want to share that with you. So what I did is I listened to her. I dug in really, really deep with what it was possible. And the thing that she said over and over and over again to me was nutrition. And that was kind of scary, because I don't know if you realize this or not, but you have a lot of power that you actually put in your mouth. And that can be super scary, because you actually have to make more choices, and you actually have to make you have to be a little bit more educated, and you have to kind of figure out whether, what works for you and what doesn't. And so I spent a couple of months like really trying to figure out what was for me. And it worked, but it was incredibly, incredibly difficult. So I spent all of this time, all of this energy doing something on my own with very little support that it made a difference. Sure, I'm now 7 years into my remission, as they like to say, but I've never felt better. And the reason behind that is because I'm now consuming premium nutritionals. I don't have to think about it so much because it's become my lifestyle. And I get to share with people a way that is so much easier than what I went through. It was insane 7.5 years ago. So I have the privilege of sharing with you the research, the proof, the opportunity to just say yes to something that has already been put together for you. So you are literally making it a part of your lifestyle no matter where you are, instead of having to take that time and energy to actually figure it out for yourself. So that is my blessing through Arbonne, because it has definitely made such a huge impact on my life, and then being able to share it with other people. I remember the first person that ever did this challenge with me said, I didn't even realize what, like, the weight loss was great, but I didn't realize how much more pain-free I was until my regular massage therapist appointment asked me where my pain was. And I said, I don't have any pain. So that's what I get to share with you today. I get to share with you how to lose weight. I get to share with you how to reduce your pain, how to sleep better, how to possibly, reduce your medication or get off of it completely. I get to help you with all of that. So let's go ahead and start. And I'm going to give you a brief overview of what the Arbonne's 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond set is. So Tara, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to pull up the first page of that cheat sheet for me, so I can kind of, so the guests can reference that while I'm doing that. So Ms. Tara Johnson, another area manager and independent consultant, who's kind of one of my buddies through all of this, she's going to pull up this information for me. Okay. So there we go. It's coming. All right. Perfect. So one thing that I want to share with you is that we hear over and over and over again that moderation is key. The unfortunate part of that advice is that for a lot of people in the United States and for our society, that's not the case. That is not what they need to really figure out what is going on in their life. More often than not, we're actually diagnosed with an issue that we're having that could potentially be, caused by some foods that we're consuming, or even by some habits that we're living. So a little bit of information before we actually get into the step 1, step 2, step 3, but something I want you to keep in mind as we're going through these lists. Number 1, 10% of your overall health and your overall wellness, everything you could possibly imagine with your health, 10% of it is actually due to your genetics. Another 10 to 15% of it is actually going to be due to your physical activity, to your fitness. But 75 to 80% of what is going on inside your body and outside your body is actually coming from your nutrition. And so because of that, we really need to consider that maybe, just maybe, the whole moderation is key is not necessarily the best idea for us. So because of that, we have to look at some of the bigger things, some of the bigger triggers, as I like to call them, because everybody is different. We do have to kind of go through the more common of triggers. And so step 1 in the Healthy Living and Beyond program is to actually eliminate allergenic and toxic ingredients. Why? The whole reason behind that, whether it is wheat and gluten, dairy, sugar, alcohol, coffee, soy, artificial sweeteners, flavors, or colors, the whole reason behind that is they are acidic to the body. No matter what it is on that list, they are acidic to your body, and they are also inflammatory. Okay, so no matter what it is, just because of what they are and how they're developed and how they are processed, they are not necessarily good for your body. Now, everybody is different. Okay, so for instance, just to kind of go with my story, okay, if you've ever had an allergen test, you go through this entire sheet of 30 plus ingredients, 30 plus food items. And if you ever have something that you're allergic to or you're sensitive to, then it's of course advised that you avoid what you've been told that you're allergic to. Okay, that's great. But the problem is that we have been so bombarded with the acidic and inflammatory foods that we're actually having reactions to things that our bodies could probably process if we just got rid of the bigger triggers. So that's exactly what happened to me when I got rid of the dairy, the sugar, the alcohol, the coffee, and the soy, and definitely the artificial sweeteners, flavors, or colors. They were considered to be essentially foreign foreign ingredients, foreign objects, basically like someone coming into my body, something coming into my body wanting to fight. And so my body was automatically put on high alert. And that is exactly what happens when your body begins to develop a disease, begins to develop inflammation, begins to develop some type of issue, is that it's on high alert. Something is just not right. And so when I got rid of those bigger triggers, the smaller ones went away. And then we can start reintroducing those, but that comes later. So step one is to eliminate the allergenic and toxic ingredients so we can actually figure out what is triggering our body, okay? Get rid of the acidity, make our bodies more alkaline, all right? If you've heard that phrase recently, then you definitely want to take, just Google acidic versus alkalinity, or acid versus alkaline in the body. Your body is more likely to be able to fight infection, fight inflammation when it is more alkaline. And so reducing the acidity in your body definitely increases your chances of being able to fight whatever it is given. Okay, so that's step one. Step two, replacing 2 meals a day with a healthy shake. Now, I'm not going to lie. If you're on this call right now and you're kind of like, well, what's this whole thing about a healthy shake? And you're kind of skeptical about it, I'm not going to lie. That's exactly how I was before I started Arbonne. I started Arbonne almost 3 years ago, and it was about 3.5 years ago when I really started to do some research on protein shakes and understanding what they could potentially do for your body. And the reason that I started doing that research, my background is in health and wellness. I teach health and sports sciences at the University of Louisville. And so I had this, just wealth of information in front of me. And why I started researching it was because they were becoming so popular. What's this whole thing? And honestly, one of the probably smartest things that I could ever tell anybody is that a shake is like the best shot of energy, nutrients, so your vitamins and your minerals, your fiber, your protein from the cleanest source possible, ideally. And I say ideally because there are a lot of different options out there. But I can promise you that what you're getting with Arbonne, because it's vegan, because it's gluten-free, so we're staying away from those allergenic and toxic ingredients, we're getting just the best of the best. We're not getting the additional sweeteners, the flavors, the colors, the preservatives. Arbonne stays away from all of that. So you are literally getting all of the nutrition that is promised in that product. And so we're replacing 2 meals a day to make sure you're getting that premium nutrition, to make sure that you're getting what your body needs to be able to turn around and detoxify itself, to detox off of the stuff that we're trying to get rid of, as well as prepare yourself from what's to come, for what's to come ahead, whether it's that day or in the rest of your 30 days, wherever step you are. So we're replacing 2 meals a day, whether it's breakfast and lunch. Those are kind of the 2 that I recommend. And the reason I recommend those is that generally most people are in a kind of 9 to 5 setting, or in a very busy type of setting from 9 to 5. So that kind of makes it very quick, very easy. And it's also something that, it's just easy to grab and go, have in your car, waiting for you to mix with some water, or have at your office, at your desk, those types of things. And in that way too, at the end of the day, when you're home with your family, or after the kids are out of school, before they go to practice or after practice, you're teaching them through a lean and green meal what it really means to live a healthier lifestyle. And I think that's pretty important, because a lot of times people will go into this challenge thinking, well, then I need to eat this and my family normally eats this. And in my opinion, it needs to be congruent with each other. You need to be consuming the same stuff that your family is consuming. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to be able to teach your family and to kind of make those lifestyle changes with your family as well, or your friends, your roommates, whatever it is, what it means to live a healthier lifestyle. And one thing that we really go on or go off of is step 3, eating those proper proportions. So, and whether it's a snack, whether it's a meal, no matter what it is, I recommend, and Arbonne does too, and so many other organizations now, that more and more research is coming out, and they're finally realizing that fruits and vegetables specifically, have so many antioxidants, so many phytonutrients. If you know what those words are, great. If you don't, it's basically cancer fighting, inflammation fighting, disease fighting. All of these like fighting components are in vegetables. They are the fighters for our body. They are the warriors for our body. So half of everything that we consume should be coming from vegetables. And then you have a quarter of it coming from protein, because of course our hormones are regulated by protein. If you're working out, then repairing your muscles, coming from protein. So a good lean source of protein, and we'll talk about that. And there's more information obviously that you can get from your consultant. Carbs, a lot of people, there's so many misconceptions about carbohydrates in the world today. And I think there's one thing that you need to realize is that your brain, besides oxygen, the number one source of fuel for your brain is carbohydrates. So just imagine if you were to cut those out, the difference that could be made in your brain, in your mental capabilities, in your productivity. So we definitely want to keep those in, but we do want to keep those at a minimum. Okay. So when I say carbohydrates in this little, eighth of a slot right here, I'm talking primarily of more of the starchy types of foods. Okay. So like the brown rice or the gluten-free bread, those types of things. And you of course need a little bit of healthy fat too. It's good for your heart, good for your brain. So we teach you, and we also provide a couple of different recipes. We offer some resources for you with the 30 Days to Healthy Living Challenge that help you decide, or help you kind of make those choices for your family. Okay. So let's talk about these shakes just a little bit more. With the shakes, we have 2 different options. We have the meal replacement shakes, which I briefly mentioned. Okay, so replacing 1 to 2 meals a day can help you satisfy your hunger, boost energy, give you that, massive amount of nutrition, which our body desperately needs with, while you're detoxing, but also just any other point in the day. So you're really able to maximize your efforts to really, reach your optimal health. And so it just kind of gives you an idea of what a perfect meal replacement shake would consist of. The protein powder, which 2 scoops would be a full serving. That's blending 20 grams of vegan protein, highly digestible, long-lasting protein. The daily fiber boost. One of my favorite things about Arbonne is that we keep a lot of our products separate. I know that and other protein sources that I've tried before I started Arbonne, everything was together. The protein was together with the fiber and with the digestive enzymes. And I had a huge issue with that. And a lot of people actually do, because you don't get to decide. You don't get to work with your consultant. You don't get to look at the rest of your meal plan and decide what you actually need for the day. With Arbonne, you get to decide, okay, with your protein, do you need a half a scoop or a full scoop? Should you separate that between your shakes in the day? Do you have your Digestion Plus, which is our prebiotic and our probiotic digestive enzyme powder? Do you need that earlier in the day? Or some people kind of start to feel a little bit more, if you start to feel acid reflux, if you've had a history of acid reflux in the past, maybe you want it later in the day. Okay. But it's something that you get to have a conversation with your consultant with, and you get to have a trial and error period with, which is beautiful in my opinion, because like I said earlier, everybody is different. So you have your meal replacement shake, but then on the other side, you also have a recovery shake. Everybody is different in terms of their activity levels, in terms of what their goals are. And so sometimes what you're looking for is something to help you replenish your protein, and in terms of like after a workout, etc. So 1 to 2 scoops of a protein powder, some light almond milk. Generally, we recommend unsweetened, of course. So good carbohydrates to replenish the carb, your fuel that that you've burned off, and then some of those higher sugared or those higher the higher glycemic fruits. And of course, that's part of your education as well with the program, but those are going to be more in the recovery shake. Okay. So those are really good. That's really good. A really good combination for the recovery shake. And then just some examples of how to fill your plate with green vegetables, with lean protein, with those good carbohydrates, and some examples of that. Honestly, before I started Arbonne, like I understood the difference between the carbohydrates that have higher amounts of fiber versus lower amounts of fiber. What are higher sugar versus not so much, but we definitely give you some options for those good carbs, because I'm sure you've heard the whole good carb versus bad carb type of conversation. And one thing that I recommend that you just take into consideration is the amount of fiber that you're getting for your serving of carbohydrates. So for instance, brown rice, much higher in fiber than white rice. Quinoa, which is actually a full-on protein source, but it's still a grain, okay? You're getting a lot more fiber for that. Beets, same thing. Sweet potatoes, a lot more nutrition in those. Carrots, they're higher in sugar, but you're getting more fiber, and same thing with millets. Good fats, we have a conversation with that. And the really cool thing is that with our Facebook group, with the 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond, we have some wonderful, very simple uses of those good fats where you're just using a minimal amount every single day, but you're really using them in the maximum way. So let's talk about the products that come along with this 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond set. Okay, so we actually have the set that comes all packaged together. Arbonne actually gives you the guide. We give you access to our Facebook page, which is wonderful for accountability. It's wonderful for ideas, for recipes, etc. But one thing that we really highlight, of course, would be our premium nutritional products, because during this whole process, you're making these lifestyle changes, but simultaneously, you need to be making sure that you are consuming the best of the best. And so in my opinion, Arbonne makes it super simple, because you're only really focusing on like one meal a day. That lean and green meal that I talked about originally, you're focusing on that one meal. So then when you focus on 2 meals a day, it's a transition. And so our products help you make that transition much more easily. Number one, you have your protein shake. Okay, so whenever you're purchasing the Healthy Living and Beyond set, you're getting 1 package of vanilla and 1 package of chocolate. Both packages, or both 2-pound bags, consist of 30 servings. So that's perfect for those days, for those people who are wanting to go full force into this 2 protein shakes a day. Okay, whether it's 2 meal replacements or a meal replacement and a recovery shake. 20 grams of vegan protein, like I said, 4 grams of fiber, highly digestible, slowly digesting, keep you full, keep you satisfied, etc. Okay. Plus they're really tasty. Like you don't even just have to drink them. I've made them in protein bars, pudding, which is a wonderful snack that you can have with your kids or with your coworkers. We've made them in protein shakes. There's so many different uses, which of course, just having that community, makes it a lot easier to share those ideas. Then the Daily Fiber Boost is actually a completely tasteless powder, completely dissolves, and I like to put it in my shake mix. But also sometimes if I look at my diet throughout the day, if I feel like that maybe I've had some opportunities to have some extra fiber with some like extra fruits or vegetables or whatever it is, if I've missed out on those opportunities, then I can always just add a half a scoop of this or a full scoop of this to my water at the end of the day, or even to my fizz stick at the end of the day. Your herbal detox tea is something that's really going to help you flush out your liver and your kidneys. And when I say flush out, I don't want you to get scared by that. That just basically means that they're working optimally. That means that they're working as they're supposed to. It's not going to do anything funky to your body. Sometimes, some people feel a little kind of, issues that, not issues, I don't want to say that, but just kind of at the point where, maybe you feel for the first couple of days like you're a little but that's just your body getting rid of the products, okay? Then you have your energy fizz sticks, your pomegranate, and your citrus. Those are delicious. I give them to my 5-year-old. She obviously hasn't had one in a while because she's ready to go to bed. But these are just like, if you've ever heard of anybody wanting like a B complex vitamin, okay, this is what it is. It's just in liquid form. It's delicious. You have 2 to 3 a day. The 7-day body cleanse, again, helps your body get to that point where you're just feeling like it's meant to be. You know, it's working as it's supposed to. The Digestion Plus, prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzyme, it's healing your gut. That's all it is. It's healing your gut, so the nutrition that you're actually consuming, you're actually absorbing it. That's one of the coolest things, okay? So by becoming a preferred client, by purchasing this package, you're getting all of the above, but then you're also getting the guides and the recommendation of what to eat, what not to eat, and why. Everybody has some, you know, kind of some feelings on whether something bothers them or not, but honestly, it's not until sometimes you take out these products, you take out the, you know, the wheat, the gluten, the yeast, the dairy, the acidic drinks, the alcohol, the vinegar for 30 days, and then reintroduce them one by one until you actually realize what your body likes and what your body doesn't like. More often than not, people are not noticing how they could potentially feel until they get past that point of, wow, this is what my body is supposed to be doing. This is how it's supposed to be reacting to foods and to drinks, etc. So I just want to challenge you, while some of this might seem a little intimidating, hopefully you feel a little bit more educated and a little bit more empowered to just say, I'm not alone in this. That was my biggest challenge, is that I was alone in my changes. I was alone. I didn't have the education. I didn't have the support. And I definitely did not have the community that Arbonne offers, and definitely not the products either. So hopefully you just look at this and you say, you know what? This is something for me to just give a little bit to, or a lot to, and partner with people on the Facebook page to just say, I can do a little bit more for myself, for my family, for the people that surround me, for my health, for my happiness, and I'm ready to make a change. So I want to thank you, not because you've been listening to me for 30 minutes. I want to thank you because you have decided that just a little bit of education is even worth it for you and for yourself. So share this recording, ask your consultant more questions, and I really look forward to seeing you on the 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond Facebook page. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Be happy, be safe, and be healthy. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.